Hi, YouTubers. Welcome back. Last weekend, I went on a little shopping trip into the city and I found a bakery, and it was called the British Bakery. I was completely intrigued by this. So I went into it and it was amazing. It was such a cute little bakery. They had a ton of pot pies and they had a beautiful display case of tarts. Well, the tarts are what caught my eye, and I had asked about them, and she said it was like a cookie base with like a shortbread cookie base or a pie crust base. And then it had a little bit of like jam filling, some almond filling, and some icing on top. And it was super cute. And they sounded really easy to make. So I found some inspiration. And that is what today is all about. I'm going to show you guys how to make these bakewells. And these are, it's a British dessert. From what I understand, they are like more of a traditional dessert, and they're usually made in cherry flavor or sometimes raspberry. So I don't have either of those right now, but I do have a whole bunch of homemade blueberry jam. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to show you guys how to make some lemon blueberry bakewells. It should be fairly easy. I'm hoping that it's going to be super quick, and you're going to make quite a few of them. So let's get to it and start baking these amazing little bakewells. The first thing we're going to do is make lemon infused sugar. So I added 2/3 cup of sugar to a bowl, and I'm adding 1.5 teaspoons of lemon zest because that's how much zest my lemon gave me. And I'm going to work it with my hands. My hands are nice and warm, and the warmth from my hands are going to help bring the oils out of the lemon zest and really infuse into the sugar as I mix it all in. It only takes about a minute or two, okay, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes of mixing it and really getting it all in there. Once that's done, you're just going to set your bowl of sugar aside for a minute. All right, so now we're going to actually make the frangipane, which is also called almond cream. So I'm starting off with a 1/2 cup of salted butter. It's room temperature, and I'm just going to mix it until it's smooth. Then I'm going to add the lemon sugar in it, the sugar that we just infused with lemon. You're going to add that in, and you're going to mix it until it's, fairly smooth as it can be when you're mixing butter and sugar together. Next, you're going to add 2 slightly beaten eggs to your butter and sugar. You're also going to add in a splash of vanilla, or a 1/2 teaspoon if you're measuring, and either 1/4 or a 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract if you're measuring. It depends on how strong of an almond flavor you want it to be. When I poured it in, it's probably only about 1/4 teaspoon. I didn't want it to overpower every other flavor that I'm adding in here. So once you've added those all in, you're going to mix it just until it's somewhat combined. It's okay if it's still a little watery, because we're going to mix it more once we add the next ingredients. All right, now you're going to add 1 1/3 cup of almond flour to your mixture. And if you did not use salted butter, then you can also add an 1/8 teaspoon of salt. If you use salted butter, then don't worry about it. You're going to mix it all, and you're going to mix it until it is smooth. Now, almond flour is not the same as using regular flour. If you overmix regular flour, I guess it overdevelops the gluten in it. But anyway, you can mix this until it is nice and smooth, which only took me about a minute or 2 with my hand mixer. All right, so here comes the easy part. I went to Walmart. I bought pre-made tart shells. They were frozen, and there's 30 in a box, which is absolutely fantastic. So I have been letting them sit on my counter this whole time. They are thawed. Remember to thaw them out. You don't want to use them frozen. And what I'm going to do is pre-bake 1/2 of them. And the reason I'm doing this is because I saw a lot of mixed reviews about if the tart shells are not pre-baked, so if you use them raw, that the jam in them will make the bottoms go soggy, but the ones that are pre-baked, they don't go soggy. So I'm going to test it both ways. So I'm going to pre-bake these ones according to the package, for about, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes, just to give them a little bit of a cook on them, a little bit of a bake. And then I'm going to do a tray of just thawed tart shells. While I'm waiting for the tart shells to come out of the oven, I have a piping bag here, and I'm going to take my almond cream, my frangipane, and I'm going to put it into my piping bag just to make it easier to put it into the tart shells when I'm ready to use it. All right, so this is my tray that I pre-baked the tart shells. I do have the other tray ready to go, but you don't need to watch me fill 2 trays of tarts with jam. So I'm only going to do this one. So I'm using blueberry jam. I'm adding 1 to 2 teaspoons into each tart shell, and I'm just spreading it around the bottom of them. And then once they're all filled, I'm going to take my frangipane that I put into a piping bag, and I'm just going to swirl on the frangipane. Oh my gosh, it's such a weird word. Almond cream into each tart shell. And then I'm going to use a little spoon and just spread it all around and push it out to the edges. But I'm going to try and leave the middle a little bit higher than the rest so that it has that dome effect. Then I'm going to put them into a preheated oven. I preheated it to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and they are going to bake for approximately 15 to 20 minutes, roughly. When they come out of the oven, the best way to know if they are done is they will look like this. They will have a slight dome on top, and they will be a very light golden brown color. You'll know they're done. Take them out and let them cool. All right, so my Bakewells are cooled, and I'm going to make some icing to go on top of them to finish them off. So I am mixing roughly 1 cup of powdered sugar with 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. I know it says 2 on my video, but that's because I did it in 2 batches. This recipe has made roughly 29 Bakewells. I'm sure if I used a little bit more of the almond cream in each of them, I could have brought that number down to closer to 24 to 26 of them, but I put mine in a little too thin. So it made 29 out of 30 tarts. 29. So I did my icing in 2 parts. It's up to you. If you want to do 2 cups and then 2 tablespoons, do it all at once. Totally fine. Anyway, you want a super thick consistency. Once you've reached that consistency, then you're going to take a butter knife and you're going to just spread it onto each of your Bakewells and leave the tart shell edge uniced. You only want it kind of in the middle. After you put your icing on, put a blueberry on, and that's it. They are all done. So go and ice all 29 of them if that's how many you made. Once they're all iced, put them in the fridge for an hour or more. These are way, way better when they are cold. At least that is my preference. I did not care for them as much when they are at room temperature, but straight out of the fridge, I absolutely love these. So that's my recommendation. All right, so these are fresh out of the fridge. They look amazing. The icing is nice and glossy and it's hard. And then this is what they look like when you cut them in half. You see each layer. You see the tart shell, the layer of blueberry jam, the layer of almond cream, and then the icing and the blueberry. And they are amazing. All right, you guys. So what did you think? This recipe was actually pretty simple and it came together fairly quick. As you saw in the video, I used pre-made tart shells and I also used my own homemade jam. Now, you don't have to make homemade jam, of course. I didn't in this video, but you can go and buy whatever jam you want, whatever flavor. It doesn't have to be blueberry and lemon like I'm doing. It could be strawberry and vanilla, or, you could do Nutella in it and, like a chocolate icing on top instead of just the white. So there's lots of ways you can change this up. I think they turned out absolutely fantastic. I did try them slightly, 2 different ways. One, I pre-baked the pie shells just a little bit, and then I did a batch that I did not pre-bake. I just took them out of the package, filled them, and then baked them. And honestly, there was absolutely no difference in doing it either way. But to save time, don't bother pre-baking them. Just take your tart shells out, put them on your pan, fill them, put it all in the oven at once. It turned out great. There was really no need to pre-bake them. When I did my research on them, some people said pre-bake it, some people didn't. So I tried both. Anyway, they turned out absolutely beautiful. I am so happy. They were so easy to make. So I really hope you'll give this one a try. Play with it, make it your own. All right, that's it for today. So remember to hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. This was a good recipe. I really enjoyed this, and I can't wait to try it again, but with completely different flavors. So that's it for today. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys out for my next recipe.